this is the standard form of a quadratic equation because we have descending powers of x and the left hand side is equal to 0 on the right. So let's start playing around with this and divide everything by a, because we're going to make an attempt at solving just in general for x. So the a's cancel out on the left and we're left with x squared plus b over ax, and then we can subtract c over a, but what we do on the left we do on the right, so that's going to be minus c over a. So now we have x squared plus b over a multiplied by x, and that's of course equal to minus c over a. So how are we going to solve for x? Well, we do have the skill called square completion, where we take the coefficient of a and divide it by 2 first. So that's going to give us b over 2a. Remember what we do on the left, we do on the right. But of course we have to take that coefficient and square it. Remember, we are adding. So let's get our green color back. So in order for square completion to work, let's bracket our x. It's still x squared, but that's going to be the first term in our binomial that we're going to square, and that is going to be the second one, which means it's not going to be x squared inside here, it's x, and then it's plus b over 2a. Of course that is all squared. There we have a complete square. And on the right we'll have b squared over 4a squared. What about the c? Well, it's still minus c, but in order for it to conform to this lowest common denominator, this 4a squared, we need to be careful and multiply that c by 4a as well, because to get from a to 4a squared we need to multiply by 4a, which we've done. Now we can take the square root on both sides of this equation, so we'll have x plus b over 2a. Of course, let's be careful and realize we have a plus minus sign that we need to apply, because the square root of anything can be either positive or negative. They will have b squared minus 4ac, and that is 4a squared. Well, let's try and clean this up. So we'll have x, now we're going to subtract b over 2a from the left, and then subtract it from the right as well, which means that zeroes out, and we have x is equal to minus b over 2a plus minus, well, the square root of 4a squared, square root of 4 is just 2, and the square root of a squared is just a. So at the top we'll have the exact same, b squared minus 4ac, and drum roll please, x is equal to minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, which is the dreaded quadratic formula. I think I found a few memes about this thing online before, but that's how it's derived, and that's a pretty useful result. So 1, this is not examinable, which is why most teachers will tell you it's not that important as a proof. But 2, it does practice square completion, so from that perspective might be a little bit useful. And then 3, I just think it's decent manipulation practice. So if you want to get really good at manipulating formulae and equations, especially when you're asked to solve for x in terms of something other than a number or a real value, give it a go.